Diana, Princess of Wales. Most people know her as Princess Diana. She was born Diana Frances Spencer on the 1st of July 1961 in Sandringham, United Kingdom. Her parents were John Spencer, Viscount Althorp, and Frances Spencer, Viscountess Althorp. She was the second youngest of 5 children. Her grandmothers, Cynthia Spencer and Ruth Roche, were both ladies-in-waiting to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, at one point in time. Before Diana was born, her older brother John died. Her parents were hoping for a son to carry on the title, and her parents were disappointed that another daughter had been born. It took them over a week to settle on her name. She was named after one of her ancestors' sisters, Diana, and was nicknamed Dutch by the family. She had 3 siblings, Sarah, Jane, and Charles, who was born after her. The desire for a son put a strain on her parents' marriage and was one of the reasons that ultimately led to their divorce. She grew up in a house on the Sandringham estate, leased from Queen Elizabeth II, and Diana played with Prince Andrew and Prince Edward. When she was 7 years old, Diana's parents divorced. Both of her parents remarried, her mother to Peter Shand Kidd and her father to Rain, Countess of Dartmouth. Diana's father refused to allow his children to live with their mother, and he gained sole custody of his children. Diana despised her stepmother, calling her a bully. Her childhood was unstable and not very happy, and she lacked any real emotional support from her parents. In 1975, her father became Earl Spencer, and the family moved to Althorp, the family's hereditary home. Diana was homeschooled until she went to Sillfield Private School and then Riddlesworth Hall School, a boarding school. She later went to West Heath's Girls' School. She was not academically inclined and failed her O-levels twice. She left school when she was 16. She loved to play the piano, swim, and dance. She attended Institut Alpin Wiedermannet in Switzerland, but returned to London after only 1 term. She worked a number of low-paying jobs and worked as a playgroup preschool assistant, cleaner, and hostess at parties. On her 18th birthday, her mother bought her a flat, and she lived there with her friends until 1981. Diana met Prince Charles for the first time in 1977. He was dating her older sister Sarah at the time. In 1980, Charles took a genuine interest in Diana at a polo match and considered her a potential bride. He invited her aboard the Royal Yacht Britannia and to Balmoral Castle. The royal family were delighted with her, and on the 6th of February 1981, Charles proposed to Diana. Diana left her job and moved into Clarence House before moving into Buckingham Palace until the wedding. She was very lonely during this time. She married Charles on the 29th of July 1981 at St. Paul's Cathedral, and it was watched by 750 million people worldwide. The couple lived in Kensington Palace in a Highgrove house. By November 1981, Diana was pregnant. Suffering from depression, Diana threw herself down a staircase at Sandringham in the hopes someone would help her, but it only made her depression worse when she received no sympathy from her husband nor in-laws. On the 21st of June 1982, Diana gave birth to William and suffered from postpartum depression. She took Prince William with her on tour to Australia and New Zealand, a move which was hugely popular. The couple had a second son, Prince Harry, born on the 15th of September 1984. During her second pregnancy, she and Charles were at their closest. She strove to give her sons as normal a childhood as possible, taking them to amusement parks and fast food restaurants. She made most of the decisions when it came to her sons, like their first names and their schools. Diana suffered from depression and bulimia, an eating disorder. She eventually got professional help to help her recover from bulimia and her depression. But it took many years. Despite trying to make their marriage work, it was broken. Their age gap, Diana's mental health, and Charles's inability to help, as well as their infidelities on both sides, Charles with his former girlfriend Camila, and Diana with several different men, caused trouble in their marriage. They were very unhappy with each other. In 1989, Diana confronted Camilla about her relationship with Charles to try to gain some control over her marriage. In 1991, Diana conducted a series of secret interviews with James Colthurst, relaying information about her life, which Andrew Morton used to write a biography for the princess, published in 1992 to the public. Charles's parents, the Queen and Prince Philip, tried to get the two to reconcile to no avail. In 1992 and 1993, leaked phone calls were released to the public about both Charles and Diana, which put negative press on both individuals. In December 1992, the couple separated. During their separation, Diana believed Charles was sleeping with Tiggy Leg Burke, Charles's personal assistant, and was planning to have Diana assassinated. In 1995, Diana discussed her and her husband's affairs in the Panorama interview, which led to the couple divorcing in 1996. After the divorce, Diana lost the style of Her Royal Highness and would only be known as Diana, Princess of Wales, until any subsequent marriage in which she would lose the title of Princess of Wales. Diana helped to remove the stigma of AIDS and leprosy, holding the hands of patients and hugging them as well. She also worked with the homeless, drug addicts, and landmine survivors. She raised much international awareness for the presence of landmines in Angola and Bosnia and Herzegovina, and her actions were influential on the signing of the Ottawa Treaty, which banned the use of landmines. Diana had to deal with a lot of privacy issues. Tabloids and newspapers breached the silent line of what was acceptable to take photos of when it came to the royal family. Images of Diana would sell, and most newspapers and tabloids were okay with taking photos of Diana, even when she was in compromising positions. Diana had to sue multiple times in order to gain back some control over her image. After her divorce, Diana moved into Kensington Palace. She was offered security from the Metropolitan Police's Royalty Protection Group, but refused on the basis that she wanted to distance herself from the royal family. During her last years of life, she dated Hasnat Khan, whom she called the love of her life, but intrusion from the media caused the couple to split up. In 1997, she began a relationship with Dodi Fayed. Diana died in a car crash in Paris on the 31st of August 1997 while fleeing from paparazzi who were harassing her. The driver and Dodi Fayed, who was in the car, also died. The bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones, survived. On the 6th of September, her funeral was held, televised to the world. Her death brought the royal family under scrutiny for their lack of reaction. It took almost a week for the Queen to do her live broadcast honouring Diana, one of the most popular members of the royal family ever. Her compassion made her approachable. She was empathetic, understanding, and easygoing, and took on more charities that the royal family would have preferred to avoid. She truly was the people's princess, a queen of people's hearts. Queen Camilla is the wife of Charles III. Vilified in the media for her extramarital affair with Charles, she has been a constant companion for the king. Charming and strong-willed, Camilla has shown herself to be a confident woman with all the strength that a queen needs. Born Camilla Rosemary Shand, Queen Camilla was born on the 17th of July 1947 in London to Major Bruce Shand and the Honourable Rosalind Cubitt. She grew up in Sussex, and she has one younger sister, called Annabel Elliot, and she also had one younger brother named Mark. One of her great-grandmothers, Alice Keppel, was a mistress of Edward VII of the United Kingdom. Her mother volunteered at various charities, and her father made various business ventures after retiring from the army. From a young age, Queen Camilla loved to read and ride horses. Her childhood was mostly happy. At the age of 5, Camilla was sent to Drumbrells, a co-educational school, before attending Queen's Gate at the age of 10. She was bright, lively and confident, and was popular amongst the students. After completing one O-level in 1964, she left to attend Montfertel Finishing School in Switzerland. After this, she studied French and French literature at the University of London Institute in Paris for 6 months. In 1965, Camilla was a debutante in London and soon shared a flat in Kensington with a friend. In her early adult years, she worked as a secretary in the West End and as a receptionist in Mayfair. In the early 1960s, Camilla met Andrew Parker Bowles, and they had an on and off relationship for years. Eventually, they married on the 4th of July, 1973. Several members of the British royal family attended the wedding, including the Princess Royal, Queen Elizabeth II, and Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother. Camilla and Andrew made their home in Wiltshire, and they had 2 children, Tom and Laura. Though her husband and children were Catholic, Camilla remained Anglican and did not convert. In 1995, the couple divorced. Camilla's mother, Rosaline, died in July 1994 from osteoporosis, and accompanied with the end of her first marriage, that year was a particularly difficult time for Camilla. Camilla met the then Prince Charles, Prince of Wales, in 1971. Andrew and Camilla had already broken up, and Andrew was dating Princess Anne. They met for the first time at the home of their friend Lucia Santa Cruz and became close friends. Their friendship developed into a romantic relationship, and as their relationship became more serious, each introduced the other to their respective families. The relationship was put on hold while Charles was in the Navy, but it ended. Camilla did not wait for Charles, as she was not sure he would want to be with her once he left the Navy. The royal family had made it clear that Camilla was not seen as a suitable wife for a future king, and Charles had not made it clear to Camilla her to wait. They stayed in contact, and by the mid-1980s, they were having an affair. Their affair became public knowledge in the press in 1992 with the publication of Diana, Her True Story, a book about Charles's wife Diana. The media vilified Camilla because of this. Her reputation never truly recovered, but after marrying Charles in 2005 and after much PR improvement, her reputation has somewhat recovered. After Charles divorced Diana in 1996 and Diana's subsequent death in 1997, Charles and Camilla began a relationship, which was made official to the public in 1999. In February 2005, Charles and Camilla's engagement was announced. Charles gave Camilla a ring which had belonged to his grandmother, the Queen Mother. As both were divorced, the prospect of Charles marrying Camilla was seen as controversial. But they were given consent by the Queen, the government, and the Church of England. They were wed on the 9th of April 2005 in a civil ceremony followed by a religious service of blessing. None of their parents attended the civil ceremony, but their parents did attend the service of blessing. Following their wedding, Camilla took the title of Duchess of Cornwall. Legally, she was the Princess of Wales. However, out of respect for Diana, the previous Princess of Wales, and Charles's first wife, Camilla took one of the feminine versions of Charles's subsidiary titles, the Duke of Cornwall. Camilla became a grandmother for the first time in 2007. She has 5 grandchildren: Lola, Eliza, Gus, Louis and Frederick. She is also a stepmother to Charles's children, William and Harry, and a step-grandmother to their children. Camilla has a number of interests and is a patron of several organisations, including Battersea Dogs and Cats Home, Maggie's Cancer Caring Centres and the London Chamber Orchestra. In 1994, Camilla became a member of the National Osteoporosis Society, following the death of her mother from the disease. Her grandmother had also died from the disease in 1986. In 2006, she launched the Big Bone Walk campaign, leading 90 children and people with osteoporosis for a 10-mile walk and climb around Loch Muick in Scotland to raise money for the charity. It raised £200,000 and continues every year to this day. On the 1st of January 2022, Queen Elizabeth II made Camilla a Royal Lady of the Most Noble Order of the Garter, and a month later the Queen made it clear that she wished for Camilla to be known as the Queen Consort. Upon her son ascending the throne, Camilla became the Queen Consort on the 8th of September 2022, following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Her husband became known as Charles III. On the 10th of September 2022, Camilla attended the Proclamation Council of Charles III as a witness.